Hi, I'm John McAuliffe, Chief Marketing Officer of VFM Leonardo, and welcome to the VTV channel. VTV is a weekly series of interviews with industry experts on the latest topics in travel e-business, and specifically online merchandising practices that help hoteliers extract more value out of their online presence. As always, we encourage you to email us at vtv@vfmleonardo.com to suggest topics that you would like us to cover in future episodes. Today I'm joined by Richard Wiegmann, the Managing Director of Trust International. Trust services more than 60 hotel chains globally with web and GDS distribution technology and reservation services. Prior to joining Trust International, Richard held executive positions within Travelport, the former owner of Trust, Amadeus, Bertelsmann, and DER. Richard, thank you for joining us on VTV, and welcome.
John, thank you very much for inviting me.
Our topic today is titled Brand Awareness in Visual Times. Certainly I've seen a fair amount of evidence and research that would indicate that there is a deterioration of brand loyalty in the travel space. The days of build a hotel brand and they will come seem to be over, and a fleeting dream for hoteliers. And that's even further evidence shows in the fact that travel shoppers are visiting many different websites during their travel planning process. And it is increasingly more difficult for hoteliers to actually convert shoppers into buyers. Hoteliers need to decide which technologies they use, be it their website with the latest booking technology, dynamic packaging options, and meaningful videos and images that are needed to convey the uniqueness of the hotel brand and generate additional revenue. What is it, in your opinion, about a hotel's online presence that will drive consumers to book it over other hotels?
Well, John, I think during the last years, more and more hoteliers identified the need to differentiate themselves from their competitors by promoting their brand, meaning we've seen many smaller hotel chains going onto private label solutions, if you wish so, over the past years. This is very good to our business, and we've supported many of those hotel groups. But as you've said, build a hotel brand and they will come, or similar to that, have a website and they will book. Something like that just does not exist. I don't know whether it ever existed, but definitely today those times are over. Customers are shopping for hotels that clearly reflect their perceptions of value. They clearly reflect their expectations. And many are spending a significant amount of time online, as you've said, to go through a lot of websites. And we believe that before customers go to either a brand website or an OTA, they've informed themselves on 11 other websites or social media websites about the property. And I think this is a significant number. So another important number, before a customer books on our websites, we've seen more than 800 looks before we get one booking. And obviously this differs from hotel brand to hotel brand, but 800 is kind of the average. And I think this clearly shows that there is a lot of shopping going on. And finally, to attract and win customers in, let's call it a hyper-competitive shopping environment that we have today, hoteliers must become increasingly sophisticated in how they tell their story. And it's not just the story, they have to tell the story to different audiences as well. And finally, how do they convey their brand promise? And I think this is a very difficult thing for the hoteliers to do. And well, the good news is that there are many solutions in the industry, but the hoteliers got to get up and they got to make their mind up of what they want to do in order to basically make sure that the customers go to the website, or not just to their website, to any website or any point of sale to book their properties.
Richard, you said that your information would indicate that the travel shopper, or there's 800 looks for every one booking on a website. How, as a hotelier, what can I do? What is it that are the tactics that I could use to be the one that actually gets that booking out of the 800 looks?
Well, I think there are many ways of doing this, and let me talk from a technical point of view first of all. I think you got to make sure that the experience on the website is a fast one and is a convenient one. You got to make sure on the website, beyond technology, even though it's impacted by technology, but beyond technology, that good content is available, that the right booking solution is available, that you show the customers the total price and not a price without taxes. It's all those small things that make sure that the customer has a unique experience on the website. And I think only if you give the customer this unique experience, they will come back and book. There are still hotels out there who do not use internet booking engines. And to be honest, it's okay for the product they have. They have 6 rooms, they have 8 rooms, and they're very special. And they don't need it. But for the majority of the hotels out there, you need to have a good online booking solution, and you have to make sure that not just the online booking solution, but also the corresponding content to the online booking solution is good and is available.
Additionally to that point, not only the 800 looks to one booking, you had also mentioned that travel shoppers, before they get to the website that they're actually booking on, have visited 11 other websites. How would I, and what could I do as a hotelier to ensure that as they go through those 11 sites, I'm on their shopping list when it comes to the booking site?
There are a couple of things. I think, I've used the word experience before, and it's used very often, but experience is important. But let's put the experience aside. There is one thing that I think hoteliers should do, and it's part of what the customer's expectation, especially in the luxury segment, is, and that is rate parity. So the customer is extremely confused if he goes through exactly these 11 or more websites and he's got for one property, for one special day in the year, 5 prices, or 6 prices, or 8 prices. The customer is completely confused. The customer wants one price. Well, the customer wants the cheapest price probably. Or the customer wants the price with most of the services included. But at the end of the day, the customer wants one price. If you don't have your rate parity under control, if you give the customer different prices on different websites, then don't expect that the customer is booking on your side. Finally, obviously, you can always have the best price on your own website. That definitely will drive a customer to your own shopping portal. But this is kind of the very first important step you got to do in order to attract to business, next to obviously what I've said before, booking engines and the right content strategy.
Right. So what are the most effective ways for, you've talked about experience, and I think our audience would be interested in your insights into what the most effective ways that a hotelier can use to convey the unique experience of their hotel to guests.
I think when we come to the experience you mean, I think it's really about the property. It's about the room. It's about the pool. It's about the restaurants. It's about the story. It's about the story the hotelier wants to tell about their property. And I think, as we've said before, content is very, very important to that. And rich content is very good for that. So the customer is expecting videos today. The customer is expecting galleries today. The customer is expecting pictures by room type today. And I think all of this needs to be prepared by the property, and all of this needs to be made available.
Which, Richard, in your opinion, which channels do hoteliers need to focus their attention on? Is it the brand site or the hotel site? Is it the social media, GDSs? Where should the big focus be on being able to get the content that you're talking about in front of travel shoppers?
It's not an easy question to answer. It very, very much depends on the property. It very much depends on the target market you're addressing. But I think in general you can say that wherever you're able to sell your property is probably a good channel for you, especially in days like these. A lot of people say all of my business should go to my website, but they completely forget the corporate business, which goes through GDSs, for instance. So a good channel mix is absolutely important in order to generate business. However, all of the channels offer different options in terms of delivering rich media. So in terms of having the right content or having great content available, definitely the web with its various options is the best channel to go through.
Okay. So, Richard, that's insightful and helpful for hoteliers to understand where to focus based on where their bookings are happening. Are there other focuses that they should have, given that many travel shoppers are visiting multiple sites, and in fact, you've given us the number of 11. today, number of sites that someone visits before they go to the booking engine. Are there other channels that they should focus on where the travel shopper is in fact not purchasing on those channels?
There are many channels and there are many opportunities for the hotelier as well. So I think we all agree that at the end of the day, business is important and we want to move the customer to a site where he can make a booking and finally drive revenue to the hotel. But the customer also is visiting beforehand many sites to get to know about the property. And that, unfortunately, I probably have to say, or fortunately, in these days, can be thousands and thousands of websites where travel is discussed in general. I think if you narrow it down, especially the social media sites and travel, so where you discuss or where you rate a property, the TripAdvisors of the world with many, many local solutions, but definitely TripAdvisor is one of the global solutions, those sites the hoteliers have to stay focused on as well. And there are many ways of working with those sites, obviously, and one is to stay tuned to what others say about your property, and other ways are to make yourself bookable on those properties. If you take Google Maps, for instance, with the booking solutions you have there and that you can click through to your website, I think those websites, those online portals, or whatever name you want to give these sites, have to be clearly in the focus and have to be clearly part of the strategy of the hotel as well.
So just because you're not seeing bookings from these sites, it doesn't diminish their importance in the strategy that a hotelier should have in getting their message and their content, if you will.
Well, let me answer it this way. What marketing person in a hotel is able to answer you this question based on how many bookings have been made because I've printed a brochure? Nobody can answer this question. So it is a little bit like this. You have to go to these websites today. You have to be prominent with your property, with your hotel, with your chain on this website, and you have to market yourself. I think it's very, very difficult to quantify it.
Richard, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and your insights with our audience. Very much appreciated. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for having me.
To all the viewers out there, be sure to post your comments on this episode of VTV and subscribe to our feed to receive more valuable insights from industry experts.